Hello and welcome to another e-bike review. Today we'll be looking at the Engway P20. If you're into castles and into e-bikes, this is the video for you. Put them down, that still doesn't solve it, so then perhaps if I pull it apart again, you see how we're already, now the pedal's caught. So here's the brand new P20 from Engway. I received this just a few days ago and I'm excited to get out on it and give it a go. It's an awesome looking thing, but we'll come on to that later on. So today's going to be a review video, again like ones I've done before. We're going to try and cover four main areas. We've got affordability, looks, performance and, I always forget this one, functionality. That's it. So we're going to try and review all those areas of this bike. I'll throw some technical bits in, but I'm not too fussed about all that sort of stuff. I want to enjoy my ride and I want it to get me from A to B in the simplest possible way, and I'll give you a fair review on it. To do that, we are going to go into Norwich City today and have a little trip around the outside of the big Norman castle there. So if you're into castles and into e-bikes, this is the video for you. Like a lot of these new e-bikes, they can be quite challenging with their design. They're nothing like you expect from normal bikes, and this one is no different. So as you can see, it's a really angled frame, very different to the DYU that I reviewed recently, which was very sort of modern curvy type affair. But anyway, that's the overall look of it, so let's take you through. We'll start here at the front. Oh, actually, there we go, right at the front. We've got this built-in LED light right into the frame here. Now, although that's cool, you'll see it doesn't follow the direction of the tyre, which is a bit different. I mean, I haven't ridden it at night, so I don't know, but I would assume that that isn't ideal. But I love the way it's hidden in there. Have a look here, we've got the disc brakes, and these are hydraulic disc brakes on the Engway. Fantastic, that makes them a little bit stronger. Explore a new way. Engway. That kind of fits in there. Where's the G? Lovely, I like this. That's a really nice little triangle in there. Good. I mean, the welding's not hidden here, but it's all very, very smooth up here. Interesting. Perhaps they could have hidden all that. That would have looked smarter. We've got a foot here for when it folds. We'll come on to that later. Pedals. These are collapsing pedals because, again, it is a folding bike. You can see we've got the kickstand, again normal. This is a magnet plate. This is for used when you're folding the bike up, so it can actually sort of stick to itself a little bit. We've got the rear rack on here. I put my little bag on there. Again, there's a link to this below the video. It does wobble about a bit on here because the rack's actually quite small and I couldn't tighten it up too much. So yeah, see there's quite a lot of movement in that. That's not ideal, but perhaps I should have tightened it up more, I don't know. We've got the reflectors, and if we come round, you can see another reflector there on the back. The saddle, yeah, not too bad. It's not a big comfy one, but it's not too hard either, somewhere in the middle. And as we come down here, we can see we've got some lights on the back of this bike. Bit interesting, but these are actually your brake lights and indicators. So you may have noticed that there isn't a chain on this bike. Well, there sort of is. It's a carbon chain. Can you see that? It's actually a belt. That's really, really cool. This means that there are no gears on this bike and it uses a torque sensor. So effectively it's like an automatic bike. So if you've ever driven an automatic car, it's like that. You can see the battery compartment here. You've got an area where you can put your key in to pop it in and out. You've got a little area where you can plug it in, and I think on the other side you've actually got, yeah, you can actually turn the battery on and off from here as well. Nice little feature. Right, let's skip back. Always missing things. I've already managed to damage this, and I will come on to that later. I felt that was an inevitable piece of damage and a part of the design which was frustrating, but anyway, here's the locking mechanism and unlocking mechanism for the folding element of the bike, and there is one on this stem as well, and the front wheel there. Also, while we're looking at the wheel and tyres, these are puncture proof tyres. Quite cool, quite chunky. Pretty decent actually, very comfortable, and nice to know that you're not going to get an unfortunate puncture along the way. Right, onto the handlebars. Big, wide, squishy grips. Really like those, they feel great in the hand. Unlike the DYU, which were kind of like a leather, these are sort of rubbery, so I don't know if they'll stand the test of time, but they are super comfy. We've got a small 3 mile per hour push accelerator here. This is not designed for you to ride on, more just to get you going. The standard bell, and obviously your brakes there as well. Over here on the instrument cluster we've got indicators, which is so cool. You can go left and right on those. Only thing is that you don't know which one you're on. There's nothing that lights up to tell you which one you're using, so if you get it wrong, for example, you wouldn't know what you'd done. And here's your control panel, pretty simple. Button at the top here, you hold it down, turns itself on, and then you've got your control modes 1, 2, 3 for your pedal assist. I always go straight to 3, and you've got a little readout for your miles per hour. There we go, and of course another squishy handle. The handlebars are quite wide on this, which was nice, gives you good balance. Right, I think that's everything on the bike. Let's go for a ride. And we're off, heading into Norwich. First obstacle, roundabout. Already getting a runny nose, disgusting. All the brakes nice and sharp. Probably because they're new, they need a bit of bedding in. Okay, power is straight on, I'm going to go for this. Yeah, keeps giving me a little bit more actually. That zoomed me across the roundabout. No dramas, onto a little incline. This is where I had problems with the DYU. For some reason the whole bike had turned off, and I found myself really labouring to get up this hill. This is entirely different. My legs are spinning quite fast. They're super easy. This belt drive is great. We've just had Storm Bert, and it's been really difficult. I wanted to get out and show you this bike, but the weather's been absolutely atrocious, and the week before that it was like the Arctic hit us. It was -2, -3. There's no way I was going to get out. So this is just great. It's a nice warm day actually. It's notable how quickly the pedal assist kicks in. You're just propelled forward on, you know, half a turn almost, you're away. And that's really nice to know you've got that instant kick. Awesome. So no time at all, I'm in Norwich City. I'm not sure how useful indicators are, given they're right down at the back of the bike, whether anyone would actually take any notice of them or just want you to stick your arm out still. I'd advise you do, just stick your arm out. Welcome to Norwich Castle. The castle was ordered to be built by William the Conqueror, who came across in 1066 and ended the Saxon reign. He never saw the castle completed. It was finally finished in 1121 by his son Henry I. Initially constructed as a show of power and strength in the area to deter Saxon rebels, however the castle itself was rebuilt once the motte had stabilised in the early part of the 12th century. When the Normans invaded England in 1066, Norfolk was one of England's richest and most populous counties. Its merchants traded across the North Sea, fish was plentiful around its long coastline, and fields were fertile and well farmed. To the invading Normans, East Anglia looked like a veritable gold mine, promising a steady income and high taxes. So it's no wonder that bringing East Anglia under Norman control was one of William the Conqueror's top priorities. What a beautiful castle. I do love it. They've got renovations ongoing there at the moment, but hopefully I'm going to visit there once it's all complete. And I've heard a lot of good things about how that renovation's going and what they're trying to achieve. Let's get back to the park. We'll give a full review on this awesome e-bike. Do you know what? I think I love this bike. It's awesome. If you've gone from a manual car to an automatic car and you loved it, you loved the fact that you haven't got to think about anything. This is like that for bikes. It's mad. I know it's nothing new, I get that, but the carbon belt, not having to change the gears, the fact that if you give it some welly, it'll suddenly give you even more. It's so clever. I'm blown away. It's an awesome, awesome bit of kit. I can't wait to start giving this a review, because I think it's going to review really highly. Although there are some areas of concern, and I'll go into those as well, that are picked up along the way. However, I don't think they would put me off buying this bike. And actually, I'm having a bit of a workout as well. It's not the laziest of bikes. God, get me burning some calories today. That'd be a thing, wouldn't it? Right, I'll see you on the review. Right, so I'm back at the park now. I think it's time to chuck the P20 up the little grassy hill that's behind me and see how it handles on that. That was super interesting. No matter what I did, whether I did a long run up or not, I couldn't get up that gradient, and 100% this bike is not built for doing that. So it's kind of an irrelevant test, but it's really, really interesting because that gradient just seemed to actively fight against what you were doing. So you needed, I don't know, maybe there was not enough torque, or there was too much torque. All I know is that you felt like the bike didn't want to respond, it didn't want to give power to get you up there. And I've gone up that gradient on all other e-bikes, including the comparable DYU T1, which you can see in a previous video, and that, although it was hard, it did still get up there. And that says something a little bit about the way that power is sent through to these bikes. So I find that really, really interesting. All other gradients I've gone on, which are normal ones, you wouldn't ever cycle up that, have been absolutely fine. So like I say, pinch of salt, just found it really, really interesting. I did a time trial a few weeks ago around the 400 metre track here with the P20 and the DYU1. So let's see how the P20 performed in the 400 metre circuit.
Ready, go.
Oh, sorry. Kickstand.
Go.
Quite a confident win there for the P20. It did annihilate the T1 going around that 400 metres. I found it was quicker off the start and it just kept giving you that power, whereas even with the gears, the DYU1 was more restrained, I would say. And although I did get, I think it was only about 3 seconds different, wasn't it, if I can remember from back in the day, it was definitely a more pacey bike, and that's been the P20 all day. It wants to get you there. It's very feisty, like a lot of Engway stuff actually, almost aggressively feisty, whereas other bikes perhaps a bit more subdued, but I really like that. Right, so that's the speed. Should we talk about the bike's folding ability? So here we are, it's absolutely the same as all other folding bikes, but I'll take you through the process in case you've never seen it. So you've got pedals that collapse, we push them in like that. We've got a kickstand that we need to get rid of, put the seat post down. I've got my reflector there, so it could go down further than that, but that will do. Then we've got the handlebars, and we'll come on to this. The handlebars is a point of contention for me. Let's start. We'll do the folding of the frame first. So there's a little flicker there, and you lift from underneath. That's it. Okay, there we go. All slightly different but the same. A little kick and down it goes, and there's a little foot down there for it to lay on. So at this point you've got to obviously collapse the handlebars. This is where I damaged it, because this happened and I was like, okay, well, I can't fold them that way. Hitting the seat post, I could turn the seat post around, could turn those around a bit, maybe I'll put them down. That still doesn't solve it. So then perhaps if I pull it apart again, and you see how I'm already getting, now the pedal's caught and I find myself in a bit of a bind. So back we go. And I found this all a little bit awkward. So yeah, I'm proper stuck on the pedal now. This is my own fault really. There we go, I'm out there now. So let's try it another way. If we put the handlebars down first, like this, put it down there and then fold it, see what happens. Yeah, okay, there we go. And that's the correct way to do it. I didn't think ahead, and before I smacked it down onto the frame here and took the paint off. So just a word of warning really, collapse your handlebars in the right order and tuck them in between the bike frame and you'll be sorted. Right, it's time to give this bike a review. So let's start with affordability. These were retailing around £1,100, but now they're pretty much blanket £899 with the Black Friday deals and so on. So you'll see in the link below this video description, there will be the best price that you can get for it as of right now, and any discount codes that I can get for you as well. So if I can give you some extra bunts off, I will. Please check out the description below for those latest prices. £900. That's pretty decent, and I'm going to do the comparison here again with the DYU T1 because they're similar sized bikes, but there's a lot of differences between them, to be fair. This is 200 quid more. Is it worth 200 quid more? Abso-flippin'-lutely it is. There's so much cool tech in this. The hydraulic disc brakes, that carbon belt with the torque sensor, the lights on the back there, the little LCD display that shows you how fast you're actually going. A big win there for me, because I could see I was up to 29 kilometers an hour today, so I was really zipping along. So I think this is fabulous value for money. It really is awesome. So I'm going to give it the top marks, and that's going to be 4 E's. Right, looks on this bike. Again, it's always very subjective, but I'm going to give you my opinion. I flipping love it. I love this industrial design. I think it's absolutely awesome. It's not wasteful, it does exactly what it needs to do. The light's hidden in the front there as well. I mean, it's just efficient, it really is. So I'm not going to mess about. It's one of my favourite looking bikes. I really do love it, and I'm going to give it another 4 E's. Right, performance on the P20. It flies. It aggressively flies. It takes you, you barely start to pedal and it plunges you forward. It is phenomenal, and it keeps going and keeps going, and actually as fast as your little legs can go, it will keep giving you more and more and more. So that's absolutely fantastic. The battery has only just gone down 1 bar in the whole time I've used it out on 2 trips. So dare I say it, performance, I'm going to give it another 4 E's. Right, the final section, this is functionality. Now, I did have some cons here, didn't I? I found it, although I found out later on, after I'd put a scratch in it, there were some elements that I don't like within the functionality, and that's the handlebars, the way that you want to put them into the other position, and if you forget, bang, you will cause damage to your bike, and that's frustrating. So there was a little down mark on that, I have to say. The little rack on the back, not so great as well. It's a bit too small, even for my little small bag there as well. So actually There's a couple of little things there that I'm just going to knock it down, but other than that, overall I think everything works how it should do. And as long as you've watched this video and I've made the mistakes for you effectively, then you'll be fine. So I'm going to give this 3 E's. So there you go. Out of a maximum of 16 E's, I'm going to give this bike 15. I wholeheartedly recommend it from Engway. So there we go, a whopping 15 E's for the P20. Go and get yourself one of these now. Use the link below for the best prices, and all my discount codes will be on there. What an awesome Christmas present that would be. Highly recommended from myself. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.